Global tech innovator Uber has just launched its latest addition to its app family. It's called UberEATS, which is set to take the food delivery industry by storm with its war on fast food takeaways. The app, which is in its pilot phase through parts of Johannesburg, will see your local favorite restaurant coming to you. General Manager for the Sub-Saharan Africa region of Uber is Alon Lits, who joins us to discuss their latest innovation, as well as to talk about some of the safety concerns which have plagued the main app in recent months. Alon, pleasure to have you with us once again.
Thank you.
Now, let's start with an update on the Uber business here in South Africa. A couple of challenges, people concerned about safety and so on, and how are you dealing with that problem?
So at Uber, we're deeply committed to safety. There are millions of rides being booked on the platform. Obviously, no form of transport can be 100%, but we're always looking at ways to improve upon our safety features, and we want to reassure people that we are committed to safety and just to make sure that people make use of the basic functionality of the app. For example, when you're getting picked up, make sure you confirm the driver's detail, the vehicle registration details before you get into the vehicle.
But what was creating or causing these problems for you? Is it people taking advantage of your passengers, or would it be people who are your partners anyway?
So Tim, first and foremost, we are aware of some incidents, and obviously my thoughts are with the victims and their families. I can't imagine what they're going through. Unfortunately, it is an open police investigation, so I can't comment on the specifics of the case. We are cooperating with the police. As soon as we are made aware of the incidents, senior members of my team or me personally have reached out to the victims and the families to offer our support.
But your drivers, are they properly vetted, and do you still guarantee the passenger safety with the drivers and partners that you have?
So we are very proud of our screening process of drivers. We go over and above what is required from a regulatory perspective. All drivers who partner with Uber go through a secondary criminal background check, which plugs directly into the police database. That is over and above the checks required to obtain a professional driver's permit. No form of transport can be 100% safe. Incidents and accidents will occur. Something which I'm proud of is that Uber has introduced safety functionality which previously did not exist in the industry. Every meter, every minute of a trip on the platform is recorded.
So any additional measures that you are taking in terms of the app or resources to help you with improving the safety of passengers?
So first of all, there's functionality known as Share Your ETA. I think it's functionality that not everyone is aware of. That allows you to send a link to your trip to a friend or a loved one who can monitor your trip remotely. So even if you're traveling by yourself, you're never actually alone with Uber. So please make sure that you share your trip details with someone so they can monitor, should this trip take 20 minutes? Are you on time? Are you running late? They can follow up. In addition to that, we are piloting an SOS button in Johannesburg, which is on the driver's side only at this stage, but this is linked to a central control room. In the event of either a security or medical emergency, drivers can tap the emergency button and help will be sent on its way. If the pilot is successful, and it's still early days, we do hope to roll out this functionality on both the rider and the driver side across South Africa and hopefully Sub-Saharan Africa.
Now, in as far as UberEATS is concerned, how is it going to work, actually? And I've been trying to work this, through my mind, given that we've got Mr. Delivery, we've got so many delivery services in South Africa, that what kind of competition are you bringing to the market in this context?
So I think we're bringing optionality to the market. We see UberEATS as an extremely exciting business. We do think it's going to revolutionize both takeaway and the restaurant business in South Africa. UberEATS is a standalone application. You download it from either of the app stores. Once you've downloaded the app, it links automatically to your RideSide account. It picks up your location, and you open up the application, and then you'll be able to see the number of restaurants available around you. And in an average time of about 35 minutes, your local favorite delivered to your door or automatically billed to your card and file.
Okay, and you have tried this elsewhere before, right? And I did mention Mr. Delivery, and I want to understand that why would I use Uber if I can use whatever is available then? You know, how are you going to differentiate yourselves?
So I think what's key is competition's great. The more competition out there, the more people think about using their smartphone to request food to be delivered. I think 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, that was probably a concept that was quite foreign. And we want that to become commonplace. So the more options, the better. The more value for eaters, the more value for restaurants. In terms of why we think the UberEATS application is a great application, it's a really good user experience. You open up the application, you get to see pictures of the food that you are delivering. We've introduced trackability into the application, that you get notified when your food is on its way. You can track that trip, you can track that delivery through the application.
And the variety of restaurants, the number of restaurants that are on the app?
So there are over 100 locations across Johannesburg, and that's growing every single day. We're getting really strong feedback from the restaurants who are already on the platform, and we're seeing a lot of inbound interest from new restaurants. Right now, we are limited to only certain areas of Johannesburg, but the plan is to extend across Gauteng before the end of the year.
Let me go back to the earlier part of our discussion. I just want to check the number of passengers, if it's increasing in Joburg, if more and more people are using Uber. Is that what you're sensing?
Yeah, we're really seeing increasing demand. A number that we released in February of this year was over 500,000 people have taken a ride using the application. At that same time, if we had to plot out the number of trips booked on the Uber application to the moon and back, it's over 121 trips to the moon and back booked on the Uber application.
But since then until now, do you see growth? Or?
We're seeing consistent growth week on week.
Okay. And still only available in Cape Town, Joburg? Have you moved to other parts in South Africa?
So the ride side of the business is available across Gauteng, so as well, Pretoria, definitely available in Soweto. It's available in Durban and Port Elizabeth, in addition to Cape Town and Joburg.
Before we started the interview, we were talking about the driverless cars, which I think is a fascinating concept that you are working on testing at this time. Google were testing the vehicles to see if they can work, and of course there are other manufacturers who are considering the same. But as part of your service, you are now piloting driverless cars. Tell me more about that test.
So that's in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Obviously not super close to that, being the GM for Sub-Saharan Africa. It is an exciting development for the company. If you are in Pittsburgh, you can actually request a ride in Pittsburgh, and you may get a driverless car. There will still be a safety driver there. We are testing the technology, and it is a few years away before that technology is fully commercialized.
Just out of interest, how does it work actually? Because I'm just fascinated by the concept of it, right? That what was the television series, Knight Rider?
Yeah.
You know, who'd have thought that era will come in our lifetimes, where the car talks to you and it drives itself, it takes you here, it's there. So we're now living in the era of the Knight Rider.
Yeah, I think we're living in the future. I think the future is here. Obviously, if we look at a normal Uber ride, when you request your ride, the driver knows exactly where to go. You provide that information using a smartphone. You enter your destination in the application, and then the car just does the rest in essence. There are lasers around the vehicle that observes the surroundings. And the intention is that over time, that may become safer than a human driving the vehicle.
What's happening with your business, the rest of the continent, where you are responsible in Sub-Saharan Africa? Is it growing too?
Yeah, we're really excited about the prospects on the continent. We operate today in 6 different countries, 12 different cities. In June, we launched 3 new markets, being Uganda, Ghana, and Tanzania. We've really been encouraged by the early results in these markets on both the rider and the driver side of the business.
I've just mentioned the driverless car, or some of the stuff that you're going to unveil is under wraps at the moment. What's coming next? After the UberEATS, what's next?
So we're very excited about UberEATS. We think it has the ability to really transform the restaurant industry. The early results are extremely positive in some of our more mature UberEATS markets. Restaurants that are partnering with Uber are doing more revenue out of the Uber application than they are through their traditional brick and mortar restaurant. And what that starts to do, it starts to bring into question the need for a storefront, which is your highest cost in a lot of cases for a restaurant. Can you get more space and maybe a cheaper area where you just have kitchen space and refrigerator space, reducing your cost base and letting Uber connect you to your customers. And over time, who knows, maybe people will be getting rid of their kitchens or downsizing their kitchens.
Or getting rid of the restaurants and keeping the kitchens just to prepare the meals.
Exactly.
And then Uber will do the rest.
Exactly.
All right, run a kitchen. Forget about the restaurant and Uber will do the rest.
Exactly.
I'm going to charge you for that.
Thanks so much.
Thanks very much, Alon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's the General Manager for Uber Sub-Saharan Africa updating us on the new app. It's called UberEATS, as well as an update on safety measures that the company is introducing to make sure that if you book a ride with them, you are safe all the way.